Hello loves, it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a chat and create with me. I'm having a mental health day and decided that I wanted to share some things that have me in a certain mental space. And one of the best practices for me to get out of a funk is to create. So that's what we're doing. I'm not going to share with you just yet what I'm creating. You can just kind of follow along as I give, a quick little story time of what caused my need for a mental health day. So let me tell you what had happened. A couple of weeks ago, I was doing a presentation. For those of you who do not know, I have been in the theater production world for a very long time. My majors are in those degrees, all of it. Everything's theater, dance, visual arts, all of the above. And so we were visiting this elementary school to do a presentation surrounding the topic of theater. This particular day, we were in the gym. We were working, I think, with first graders. And there was this student who accidentally went to the bathroom on themselves. Now, the thing about it is I'm a very observant person. Therefore, when I am in the presence of children, young folk, I'm always very attentive, paying attention, kind of looking around, making sure things are just okay. And I happen to look down and see this particular student sitting in a puddle. I moved around a little bit just so I can make sure I was seeing what I was seeing, because this particular student was sitting the closest to the restroom, which was about 8 feet from him. Looking back at it, maybe he didn't want to ask to go to the restroom in order to not disturb or interrupt the presentation. Keep in mind, his teacher was sitting kind of on the opposite or the adjacent side to him. He would have had to get up, walk past the bathroom, and go to the other side to ask to go. No judgment at all. I'm just trying to give context in terms of what I initially thought was the root cause of why I was having such a visceral response to it. After processing for a few minutes and my partner was now up to present, I walked over to the teacher to give her a forewarning that one of her students had an accident on themselves. Her response was, "You have to be kidding me." So I led her over to the student. I tried to be as anonymous as possible to not alert the other kids or draw attention and try to embarrass him. But I was concerned about the other students sitting around, and also my partner who could have walked towards me, slipped. Guys, anything could happen. And so I just wanted to bring it to her attention, but I don't think I was ready for her response, in which also contributed to why my anxiety was starting to elevate. However, I wasn't able to connect it to anything. So in my mind, I'm thinking, girl, you're just being over dramatic, as if you're the one who went to the bathroom on yourself. But it was a little deeper than that. So when she comes over, she gets him up, she says words to him, she takes him away. They come back. He's still wet. Now, they didn't go far. They just went further down the gym so she can make a phone call to the maintenance man. So he comes back and still sits in his wet clothing. The maintenance man cleans up the spot. Everybody goes on about their day, but I'm a little rattled and I can't figure out why, and I couldn't shake it. Fast forward 2 weeks. And it happens again. Different school, different grade level, another young man. And this time when I notice it, my brain just automatically took me back to the moment that was obviously giving me this anxiety. So I'm pacing, I'm trying to present, I'm trying to get focused. I can't focus. I'm just kind of just all over the place. I'm shaking, everything. And I'm trying to pull it together because, like I'm in front of a lot of kids. My brain took me right to the moment that was giving me the anxiety. It took me back to when I was in elementary school. And those of you who know me know that I was a very prissy little girl. Most people know that I have a fear of grass. And so we had gone on this walk through this ravine, or a path that was on like this ravine. Well, I was walking more on the dirt path. You were not about to catch me crossing no grass to get down into some type of water contraption. It was not happening. However, we were walking and we had gotten a good distance from the school. They didn't make sure I needed to go to the bathroom before I left. And at this time, I was maybe kindergarten, first grade, and I had to go to the bathroom. No one wanted to turn around and take me back. People are having fun down in this little water spot, and they were trying to motivate and push me into going to the bathroom behind bushes. Sidebar. Anybody catching on to what I'm doing thus far? Like, have an idea of what I'm creating? Now, think about me being a prissy little girl. Think about me having been in an abusive situation. Think about me being someone who do not like to be touched. Having, as well, just learned about good touch, bad touch, what's appropriate, not what's appropriate. All on top of being fearful of grass. And you have these people trying to get you to use the bathroom outside, in public, in the grass, behind some bushes. That was not happening. I tried to hold on as long as possible. And of course, I used the bathroom on myself. I'm wet. I'm humiliated. Then the taunting started. They had to rally everybody back up to take me back. And we weren't necessarily there long, but even if we were there a long time, they were annoyed that they had to cut things short. So they're taunting me on the way back. They're making jokes. They're throwing stuff at me. When we get back to the school, they stand me in front of this big industrial fan that's blowing cold air. I'm still wet. There was no change of clothes. They started playing, like the little fun indoor games, but I had to stand stationary. So they were running around playing tag. I couldn't join them even when I got dried. My mother comes and they make up this whole story about something that wasn't even really related to the situation. I think they just didn't want to say that they weren't going to bring me back or didn't want to bring me back. My mother was just kind of looking at me like, my child doesn't use the bathroom on herself, but okay. She didn't make a big deal out of it. Her mind, accidents happen, which they do, but I was too young to kind of articulate without saying they're lying. You're not necessarily supposed to say that about adults. So that was a very traumatic experience on top of all the things I was already going through within that particular environment. Anybody have a clue what I'm doing? Just curious. Leave it in the comment below if you got it, what I'm doing. Fast forward another 2 weeks, I'm scrolling on YouTube, and this is how diabolical the YouTube algorithm can be. The majority of my timeline is about renovations and DIYs. This one video pops up about we transformed a prison into homes. And I'm like, that's interesting. Click on it. Guys. Why was it that the prison they were referring to was the one my father was in, that I went to millions of times as a child? And I wasn't ready. Never in my life did I think that the video was of his former prison. And I don't really know why I clicked on it. There is humor in my voice because I'm trying to laugh to keep from crying. This is something that I didn't necessarily need to see, because it did nothing but take me back to some of the most horrific times of my life. There never comes a point where you want to be reminded of being pat down, being behind prison bars, the sound of the cell block keys, to the waiting rooms, to the fingerprint, to everything. Everything about it was just not something ideal for a young child. I don't think I was mentally prepared for seeing a video that took me back to a space that was not healthy for me. I think this was definitely childhood trigger month because everything has been triggering in terms of my youth and my upbringing that was just very detrimental to a lot of my anxieties and fears. Being in the first, second, third grade are your cognitive years, and so much had happened to me in that short window that shaped the rest of my life. Being born into a situation where you're going to prisons every other week, you don't necessarily understand that it's not normal until you understand that it's not normal. And then you have to work through and process that. I don't think anybody in my family had an idea of how impacted that experience was and was going to be for me in the long run. I used to have very bad panic attacks. And before I understood what my triggers were and had the tools on how to navigate when unexpectedly I would go to a place that would simply just take my entire breath and soul away, I would just suffer through the moments. But now I've learned to take a beat, to recognize what is giving me such high levels of anxiety, what is scaring me, what are causing these moments, and sitting and dealing with those head on. We talk a lot about mental health on this channel because I have my own mental health challenges, and a lot of that stems from childhood traumas. As I have gotten older, I have found a multitude of ways to cope and deal and reset when I have those intense moments. Creating, DIYing is one of those things for me. These two situations happened so close together that my mind was just having a pinball reaction, and I needed to take a day, do something that was going to get my mind away from reliving certain moments. And I came up with this idea. If you have not caught on by now, I'm creating a fanny pack, I guess you can sort of kind of say, out of some jeans, just something for me to honestly put my snacks in, to be honest with you. I just wanted to share this just in case anybody could relate to any moments in your life that sporadically just pop up out of your control, like you can't help but to think about it because a current event brought you there, or you just happen to slip into that coma state of thinking about certain things. We all have our challenges, but we don't have to let it define us. Take all the time you need to regroup, to collect yourself, find fun activities, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, be patient with yourself. Furthermore, if no one told you today, let me be the one to say, I love you. Bye.